Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. One of the mostly used term in the video making space is cinematic. But what does this term mean? First and foremost, cinematic comes from the compilation of images to make them feel like a movie. You'll find so many people using this word in video while they are explaining the look of videos, but sometimes it is used wrongly. So in this video, I'm going to be taking you through what this term means and what it stands for. First and foremost, the term cinematic comes from a cinema, all movies. For people who watch movies in the cinema, the whole experience you get, the way that movie was made, that is a cinematic. To make it easy for you to understand, think about a processed creation of sequences of images, or the making of sequenced images in a well thought out manner. Having talked about the processing of an image to make it look cinematic, just think about the scenario for a moment. You have seen videos created in a movie where they are shooting a street view and you're seeing the whole experience, the way it is lit, the way it is color graded, and the way the sounds in that video are all created is totally different from the same video created on the street but using the CCTV camera. That video gives you a whole different experience because the lighting is flat and the sounds are not even edited. That is one of the ways I can make you understand the word cinematic. But it doesn't stop there because it goes beyond just you experiencing what you watch. Now we are going to talk about the visual grammar in videography. When I talk about the visual grammar, what usually makes your brain automatically flag something as a cinematic or something not being a cinematic. There are aspects that we are going to look at, and that is aspect ratio, frame rate, depth of field, and color grading. Talking about aspect ratio, there was a time when we used to create videos with two black bars, one on the bottom and another one on the top. Usually this is not something you'll see in broadcast or in news. You will never watch a video on a TV station and it has a black bars. Automatically, when you get that experience, your brain thinks of that video being cinematic, and that is to do with aspect ratio. To take you back a bit, we used to have TVs that were in the square format, but later on, as technology became better and better, we started getting smart TVs that have a rectangle view, and the aspect ratio has been changing over time. And the reason as to why, when we think about aspect ratio, automatically you'll think about the cinema or the movie. When you watch a video that has black bars, automatically your mind will make you feel in a different way, away from what you feel when you're watching news or a TV broadcast. When we talk about the depth of field, this is controlled by the aperture setting in the camera. That is the setting that controls the area of focus. In the term of cinematic, nowadays videos are created in a way where the subject is in focus and very sharper than the background, while the background is blurred and out of focus. When you watch a video like that, your mind is usually triggered to think about it as a cinematic. It's because that happens in a setting where the person recording the video and the person who is creating this video plans it out, and also it sends a unique communication to the person who is viewing this. But still, on the part of the experience, this makes you view the video the way the human eye views what is in front of them while it is focused on a certain subject. Depth of field is very important while we are talking about a cinematic videos, all while we are using the term cinematic. Another aspect is the frame rate. The videos are recorded in 24 frames per second, and that is the reason as why you will see when someone is moving in the video, there is a slight motion blur that is created, and that is how usually in our day-to-day life, how we view life. But other videos are created in 60 frames per second to make your motion a bit slower. That means that you're going to get an experience of a dreamy look, or what most people call the opera effect. So when you're creating videos in 24 frames per second, there are people who are going to call that cinematic, and there are people who will prefer 60 frames per second because that slows down life, but they all give you a different experience. But depending on what you want to communicate, some people will call 24 frames per second as cinematic, and there are people who will call 60 frames per second as cinematic, depending on what they want to communicate to the person viewing the video. The last aspect that is connected to cinematic is color grading. When we talk about color grading, that is giving a video a style that you feel communicates. In most cases, when people have shot videos and they want to give you that cold look, they will color grade it in a way that the video has that blue tone or tint on them to give you a feel that during night times it is cold, or even during early morning times it is cold. And when they are trying to show you the warmth tone, they'll make it a bit yellowish or orange-ish. They'll make the video an orange tint on them to make the videos seem a bit warmer, and that is all to do with color grading. There are so many videos on the internet that will tell you if you want to make your video a cinematic while they are referring to color grading. It's because color grading is one of the aspects that make your videos cinematic. That is the part of the visual grammar. But now let us talk about the intentional composition. Away from just videos looking at the way they look, videographers and filmmakers use camera angles and framing to make you, the person who is watching this video, feel somehow. We are going to start with the low angles. Usually video directors and videographers use the low angles to make the subject seem superior. When you're watching this video and your subject is very superior, that is going to make you feel like this person is winning if it is a fight. But when the subject in the video is losing, usually visual directors and videographers will use the high angle. That is because they want to make the person who is in front of the camera feel inferior, or the person is losing if it is a fight, or anything that is happening in the story that is being told. So when someone talks about a cinematic the next time, think about feelings, think about how people frame their videos to make you feel a certain type of way. Another way they use this is the symmetry. And think about Wes Anderson's filmmaking style. Usually he uses this style of symmetry to make you appreciate the art of videography and the environment where he places his subjects. All these aspects at the end of the day are what people call cinematic. Having talked about the intentional aspect, now let's talk about another factor that make the video, all the visuals that we watch on a day-to-day cinematic. When we combine all these factors, at the end of the day is what we term to as cinematic. I've talked about the part of visual grammar and intentional composition to explain to you the term cinematic, but there are also unforeseen elements that videographers use to create cinematic videos. The first one is lighting. The way I'm lighting this video is I'm using only one light, and that is placed on this side, and then on the other side I'm using the window to light this side. But you will see that this side has stronger lighting compared to the side on my right. That is the power of lighting. When you watch movies, you'll see that there are times when the lighting that is used are of different colors from the lighting that we see in our day-to-day life. That is because they want to make you feel a certain type of way. If they are trying to make you feel scared, they will usually use red lights. That is in horror movies, and when they are trying to make you feel that the environment is a bit cold, you'll see that the lighting that is going to be used is kind of blue. So try as much as possible that while you're watching videos, you critically analyze all these aspects, and you will understand the term cinematic before you use it wrongly. Another aspect that is usually unforeseen, or another element that is usually unforeseen, is sound. Now, sound is what you listen to. When you watch a movie, they are usually ambient sounds. They are usually the voices that you hear when the actors are in a dialogue segment, and then there are sound effects. Those are the sounds that usually filmmakers use to build up the environment you're in. But while you're just watching a video, they use these sounds to make you feel a certain type of way, or to build up attention. The process of creating amazing sounds in videos is called sound design. The main reason as why all these components and elements are very important, they are all aimed at one purpose, and that is immersion. That is making you, the person who is viewing the video, or the person who is watching this movie, to be fully immersed and to keep you watching. That is the reason as why if you are watching a movie, the way you're going to be immersed in finishing this movie, or the way you're going to be attentive from the beginning to the end, it is not the same way while you're watching social media videos, or while you're watching these CCTV camera videos, because the other film or cinema videos, they are properly designed and created to keep you there until you finish watching this video, until you finish watching this movie. If you want to create amazing videos, one of the aspects that you need to master is lighting. That is because even a cheap phone can create amazing images to people who are watching the video, as long as the lighting is great. Because on the part of sound, you can download ambient sounds from the internet. You can decide to create a video where people are not talking, and you will get sound effects off the internet. But with lighting, that is one aspect in videography that you can never cheat. So if you want to be an amazing videographer, if you want to be an amazing filmmaker, one of the aspects in the sector of videography that will make your videos look cinematic, nail your lighting, and at the end of the day, your videos will look very unique and different. My name is Pius Jogenda. If this video has been useful to you, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.